I am your host, Brian Dorrington, here with my co-host, Arianna, Mukala Kabungo. There you go. This is my, that's our electric slide, our generation's electric slide, I think. I haven't heard it in a while, but it's going to be stuck in my head now.
You go to
do
a,
the Macarena.
Go to a 90s party, you'll probably hear it.
I do those quite often. That's one of the things you hear. That and Cotton Eye Joe, those come up a lot. Two of my favorites. Those things make me happy. Let's get into something that doesn't make me happy, and that was last week's game against the Lions. Before we get into that, I just want to, there's some new news. I don't know if you heard.
New news.
As of Wednesday, when we filmed this, both Bentley and Burkhead have been placed on IR.
Oh,
so
great.
They won't be back until at least week 12. This was just announced today being Wednesdays when we filmed this. So that is a huge blow to a team that's already really thin in a lot of spots, and especially in linebacker, and it seems to be running back. So, okay, so let's get that out of the way.
Yep.
Bad news. Let's get some more bad news, and that's the Patriots' 26-10 loss over the Lions. What's your take?
They're just not a really good football team right now at any phase. Offense, defense, special. They're just not good. Gronk is getting double team, triple team. You take him out the game. No other receivers getting open. The offensive line, Brady looked like he gave up at one point in that game. He was just like, he just said, forget this, I'm done. And they just did not look good at all. The Lions, it's the Lions, one of the worst teams in the league, and they laid an egg on a primetime game, but. You know, the overreaction is all in. I can understand why, but I don't usually. I'm never the one to.
What's your worry meter? Let's just say this.
My worry meter right now
1
is
to
at
10.
a 4.
You're only at a 4?
Yeah,
I think
4.
you're underreacting.
Well, I never get worried about September games. I get more worried if this happens when it starts to happen in late October. Like late October, if this trend continues, that's when you got to hit the panic button. But the defense. If you ask me to worry about the defense, that thing's like at 11.
But where's the talent on this team? Patriots have had notoriously been slow starters. Actually, 3 out of their 5 Super Bowl wins, they started 2-2. So, you know, they could come back from this. But this just feels a little bit different. It feels like they don't have the talent. There isn't that offensive threat that can get open when Gronkowski's double-teamed or triple-teamed. Sony Michel has not been able to gain any traction as a running back. I mean, it's basically we traded Sony Michel for Brandon Cooks. And it seems like it's not working out. It's too early, I know, to write him off, but in the first few games, it hasn't worked.
No.
Now with Burkhead out, really the only shining light on offense is James White. And he should be featured a lot more. They don't give him enough touches
especially
in the rushes.
Especially with the running backs going down, his production, his snaps should definitely increase some more. They need to figure out what to do with Gronkowski because there's only so much a guy could do, but he's literally getting double, triple teams. So I mean, they need to find ways to get him the ball.
The way to do it is you need somebody good in the slot, so hopefully Edelman will be able to do that, and a deep threat going downfield. So maybe Josh Gordon will be able to, you know, even if he'll always be a threat. Even if he comes in this week, he doesn't know the entire playbook. You send him on a streak route, he's going to draw attention.
Maybe,
and that might free up Rob Gronkowski on a few plays.
Maybe Corey Coleman, they'll bring him up off the practice squad and get him some snaps.
Well, he's got speed, but they have to do something. I'm not in full panic mode. I'm definitely, I'm up there at a 7.5. And it's because I don't see the talent. I just don't see the talent on this team. I mean, who can you really point to and say, that's a talented player, that's a talented player? I mean, I can count the talented players on the, one hand.
As I said, they're not a really good football team right now. No. They've got a lot of work to do.
You say right now, but I want to press you on that. How do they improve? Because to me, it seems like a talent issue.
You know, a win, you win a game here, you win this game coming up against Dolphins, then you can build from there. But right now, and it's a winnable game against the Dolphins.
Well, let's get into that right now. We can jump into that right now.
It is a winnable game against the Dolphins, although they are undefeated. You know, there's a lot of quarterbacks and players I don't trust in the NFL.
Yeah, you hate a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, and Ryan Tannehill, I don't believe him. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Okay, well, let me just say he's had 73% completion rate, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, and plus he has some good rushes too.
Yeah.
So he's playing well.
He's definitely
playing well. And
he's
got some speedy weapons.
Coming off that injury too.
Coming off the injury
too. It seems like what the Dolphins have done with him is they've eliminated him holding the ball too long. They want him to get the ball out as quickly as possible to his playmakers, and that's what they've been doing in these wins. You know, against the Raiders, he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 91.7 QBR. So that's all you can ask for from a quarterback, and no turnovers. That's the big thing. He didn't turn the ball over. So right now, this month, the Dolphins have kind of been the surprise team with their start, the way they've just been playing offensively and defensively. They've been playing well on both sides of the ball. Do I trust him to continue this? No. Do I trust this quarterback? No, I don't. But
do you think they can beat the Patriots? Because at this point, yes. I think they can.
Yes, I think they can beat them.
Our linebackers are slow, and now we don't have Bentley.
Yeah.
Chung, I'm guessing he'll be back this week. It's usually 1 week with a concussion, but they haven't announced that as of Wednesday when we film this show. So I'm worried about their speedy receivers. Stills is a 4-3 guy. Grant is a 4-3 guy. Devontae Parker's coming back. He's going to be healthy. I don't know if we can really cover those guys.
This is going to be the thing the Patriots got going for them for this game, the Dolphins haven't won in New England in 11 years.
Yes.
The last, or 10 or 11 years.
Since 2008. That's that too.
In 10 years. So that's one thing they got going on their side. But, yeah, the problem it's our secondary. The Dolphins have playmakers on the outside, and our secondaries have shown that they can't cover anybody. They can't cover a pole. So this is going to be interesting. The Patriots, I don't like saying must. It's a must-win for them.
It is an absolute must-win.
They need a win.
Because then you're 3 games behind.
Yep. Dolphins 4-0. They'll be 2-0 in the division.
Yeah. So you
get it together.
So that is a big obstacle to climb to make up if they lose this game. Not saying they can't do it, but to me this looks like a 10-6 at best team. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 9-7 season, and I hate to say that, but it's just looking that way.
Yeah, they're playing very sloppy football that nobody wants to watch right now. And talk about former Patriots, your man Jimmy G.
Told you he was gonna be a bust.
Jimmy G. Would you really say he's a bust?
Yeah, he busted his knee.
It was one of those freak. It was a freak play. It was. Anytime someone goes down off a non-contact, you're like, that's usually what happens. It's a ACL. So he tore his ACL, MCL. His season's over. And that game against the Chiefs, the Chiefs got on them real quick. The Chiefs hopped on them, and the Niners, they started coming back. Jimmy G started playing well. He started finding guys. Marquise Goodwin came back, and he was getting his playmakers the ball. And they were in the red zone down. I think they were down 38-24 at that point, and they were in the red zone. And it was 3rd down. That's when he hurt his knee and got carted off the field. They scored a touchdown, which got nullified from an egregious pass interference call. That was an egregious pass interference call that they called, but. It's sad for Jimmy G because I know he wanted to take that step to prove he was worth that contract.
I think that was it right there. We just saw.
He wanted to show that he was worth the contract, and the Niners they got some injury problems. Richard Sherman also was hurt. They got a couple players that were hurt in this game. So tough break.
He was playing okay this season.
It was a tough break.
I don't think he was ever going to be a top 10 quarterback in this league. I still don't think he will be. He had some good plays, but he was hitting some wide open receivers for touchdowns. Chiefs cannot play defense. We'll get into Patrick Mahomes. But they were blowing coverage all game. Okay. What's that?
I forgot to tell you, mention this. We're combining these two.
We're combining these two. Yeah. Okay, cool. We can combine those two. And
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
This guy.
So this is a stat that I found kind of unusual that this hadn't happened before. He was the first quarterback to have 3 consecutive games with 400 yards or more. No other quarterback's ever done that. Not Brady, not Breeze, not Manning, not
Ryan
Rodgers.
Fitzpatrick just did that too.
3 consecutive?
With 400, yeah.
For 400 yards plus games? I guess they tied.
Yeah.
But they said that nobody had ever done that previously.
Because it was probably at that point, they played Monday night.
Yes, maybe that's when I heard it. But either way, it's one of those things where Brady didn't do it, Breeze didn't do it, Manning didn't do it. So
this guy, all the hype is real. This Chiefs team, man, they're excited.
Is the hype real though? The hype is real now. Do you expect this to continue? He can't stay on this 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
You never
pace.
know, especially with Andy Reid. Andy Reid likes throwing that ball around. His offense, they like throwing the ball around. And what I like most, he's getting it. It's not he's dropping back and waiting for a long time. It's quick passes to his playmakers, and guys like Sammy Watkins, who we thought was a bust, looks like the player that Buffalo thought they were going to get.
Yeah, when they traded up and took him 8th or something overall.
Yeah, to a high pick. Kareem Hunt, he's running, he's killing time with, and Tyreek Hill, the speedster out there. So they're
all speed. I mean, that speed is something you cannot teach. Speed kills, and that's another thing. Not to go back to the Patriots, we don't have much speed, especially not at receiver. Philip Dorsett's the fastest guy, and I've given up.
What I just thought with this Chiefs team and the Rams. Well, imagine seeing the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the Rams. All that firepower going on there. That would be one exciting Super Bowl.
It is still early in the season, but those seem like the 2 best teams. I give the edge to the Rams. Right now, we're talking about Pat Mahomes. Do you think that he's going to be an MVP this year?
Candidate? Yes.
He'll be a candidate.
He'll be a candidate. If he keeps this way, if they got the number 1 seed, home field advantage, I think he should be MVP. And if he keeps up the pace he's going, he should be MVP because he's playing out of his mind right now. He is playing out of his mind.
Yeah, and he's definitely exciting to watch.
Definitely.
Probably the funnest player right now. Chiefs are the funnest team to watch. If you're looking for explosive offense, which is what the casual fan and stuff wants, that's fun. It would be fun to go to a game at Arrowhead Stadium.
You know what's not exciting or fun to watch? Roughing the passes left and right. These questionable roughing the passes.
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, I feel bad for that guy. Now
I don't feel bad for Clay Matthews. He's very successful. Great, but in these calls, yes.
Now, the Packers-Redskins game this past weekend, Clay Matthews once again had...
I just want to say, we do have a new director, and his name's Dave, and he's not really a sports guy, so I don't think he knows which team is which.
Leave Dave alone.
I know, I'm just saying, it's Dave. We're going to go to a different team now.
But Clay Matthews, the Packers lost one to the Redskins this past Sunday, and Clay Matthews, once again, this play, I saw it. It didn't look like it was a roughing the passer. It was a routine, one of those, boom, bang, got him to the ground, and they threw the flag on him. There've been so many weird roughing the passer calls.
What was the justification for this one? I forget that he
landed on him, used his body weight.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah, I think you have to carry them and just at this point, you just got to carry the quarterback and put him to the ground because you
have to be nice to him.
Yeah, you have
treat
to
him kindly.
You
have to apologize after too. Sorry for carrying you and dumping you so harshly.
But throughout that, the Packers got outplayed by the Redskins. They got outplayed. Alex Smith outplayed Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback in the league, allegedly. And this Redskins team, I don't know. They're a weird team. They could win that NFC East because there's so much happening with the Cowboys, the Giants, Eagles too. They're just kind of up and down right now. So the Redskins are kind of playing solid football right now. Alex Smith, the guy they called down, check down Alex. He was launching. He was throwing it deep. He was getting it to the wide open man. So.
He's one of those guys that never really understood the criticism of him.
Yeah.
He's a Pro Bowler. He's gotten teams to the playoffs. He's been a great teammate. Been willing to be a backup in some surge when he needs to be. I agree with you. I think that this is a dangerous team.
Yeah.
So
Adrian Peterson looks like he rejuvenated himself. He's not
maybe he was worth the money. Nobody else wanted to pay him.
Yeah, and I think he's. I don't know. It seems like he's a lot fresher, and he's all that wear and tear on his body looks like it didn't do much to him because he's still looking like a powerful back.
Yeah, and they look better than Dallas and the New York Giants. So. It's become down between the Eagles and the Redskins, I think, for the NFC East.
The Cleveland Browns won their first game in about almost 2 years.
Craig was so happy about that. Craig is such a Browns fan for some reason.
I have no idea. Baker Mayfield, the Browns, he got put in there. Tyrod wasn't playing bad, but they were down 14-0, and they just needed. We knew this was going to happen. We knew Mayfield was going to get on the field at some point this season. So they made the switch. He made some good plays. The defense also made some good plays. Denzel Ward, I mean, the guy we kind of criticized that pick.
Well, I think I criticized it more in that they could have traded back because he was more of a middle of the draft projection. They could have traded back a couple spots, maybe got some more picks, but that's just nitpicking. It does seem like he's making real deal.
He's making plays for them turnovers. He had another turnover, caused another turnover this past game. But the Browns, usually when the Browns are down 14-0, they give up, and you're like, okay, they're going to lose it again. But they came back. They did the 2-point trick play with the 2-point conversion, the play that Brady couldn't catch the ball in the Super Bowl.
Hey, come on, let's stop talking about that. And then Nick Foles did right away.
So
just keep rubbing that one.
Good job for the Browns, but once again, the Browns fans with their overreaction singing. Browns
have a better record than the Patriots. Browns have a better record than the Patriots.
I think I saw them singing "We Are the Champs" or something like that on Twitter. The Browns fans were.
Are the Browns a playoff team with Baker Mayfield?
No.
No. How many are the Browns going to break 500 this season?
They'll probably go 6 and 10.
Do you believe in Baker Mayfield?
No, I don't believe in Baker Mayfield.
I don't really either. I just don't like short quarterbacks. I mean, there's very few that make it. Russell Wilson because he can move, and Drew Brees, but just a thing.
Speaking of, he's not a short quarterback. He's pretty tall, 6'5". Carson Wentz got back on the field.
Short.
He got back on the field. Solid game against the Colts.
I don't know. Did you watch it? I saw a lot. There was a lot on Red Zone, and he did not look that good.
Anytime you win a game, I'll say it's a solid game.
Okay, a solid game, but it wasn't the MVP Carson Wentz, and I mean it's understandable coming off the ACL.
The ACL, and you knew he was going to be rusty. You knew he just wasn't going to be himself. But they had him throw the ball 37 times.
Yeah, he went 25 for 37, 255 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
I think that's a bit much. 37 times as for him, just because he's just getting back into it. They should have ran the ball more, but it was a back and forth game. Andrew Luck too. I don't understand why the Colts always have him throw the ball over 40. He threw the ball 40 times. I think in week 1 he threw it 50 times.
Let's just talk about that play right there. Not to interrupt
Jacoby
you.
Brissett throwing the
Jacoby Brissett having to come in. That is so worrisome that they didn't think that Andrew Luck could throw the ball 40 yards in the air to the end zone. That is telling. That tells you that he's not fully recovered from that neck injury. And now
was it neck or shoulder?
Shoulder, neck, whatever it was, something up there. It was. I think that was bad to do because now teams look at that and they're going to know this guy is not a deep threat. He can't throw the ball that far. It reminds me of Peyton Manning towards the end of his career, who had, I think it was a neck injury.
Yeah, Peyton Manning was a neck.
Yeah, so I think they had similar injuries.
Yeah, why even have him play then if you knew a situation like, if you knew he can't throw the ball on a Hail Mary, you should keep him on the sideline. If he's not 100%, if his shoulder isn't 100%, he shouldn't be on the field. This guy's a franchise quarterback. You need to take all the precautions that you can with him. If he's not ready, just keep him on the sideline. Jacoby Brissett has proven he can maintain while he's out.
It's a good play.
So I don't understand why the Colts would do that. This is just another reason why the Colts management is just, they got screws loose. They're not the smartest people in the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a close, tough-fought game. I mean, it did come down to a Hail Mary. It was kind of a bad game on both sides. It kept on showing it on Red Zone.
An exciting game, Monday night game, one of the most exciting games of the night. We saw the bad and the good of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He showed you why he is Ryan Fitzpatrick. He threw 3 interceptions in the first half. One of them went for a touchdown. And then the second half, he threw 3. And then the second half, they came back. He threw 2 touchdowns.
But the interceptions were not his fault.
No, they were not.
Mike Evans even admitted after that he ran the wrong route on his interception. The other one was one of them was off a tip, I believe. So.
And the one on the goal line, that one, I don't even know what the. I think that looked like another miscommunication, with him and the receiver. But
so you can't really put those on him. Those weren't bad. throws.
He played well, and now the question is, people are asking, will Jameis Winston start?
No,
he's not going to
next week.
No, the Bucs shouldn't start him. They should keep Fitzpatrick in because the offense is still rolling. They started off quick, but then they slowed down, and then they picked it up again in the second half. So I think him and this offense, they're rolling. They should just keep him in there.
And it's never good to have a loss, but it's 27 to 30. It's,
you start
and they have no run, and they have no run game or defense. So Ryan Fitzpatrick really isn't the guy to think about taking out. You
start the season off 2-1 as well. Nobody thought you were going to start. You were going to get a win in the first month of the season, so they got something good going on right now.
I think most people thought Dirk Cutter would probably be the first coach to be fired this year.
We got a coach.
Not happening now.
A couple segments down, we got one I've been telling you about. Bills Vikings.
Oh, I know who you're going to be talking about. Bills Vikings. What was that? So it was the biggest upset in 23 years, I believe. The Bills were a 17-point underdog. And they ended up finishing, 27-6 versus your favorite quarterback in his team, Kirk Cousins.
I told you guys Kirk Cousins would show why he can't be trusted. And once again, he did it this game. He had a fumble. Interception, I don't think that was his fault, the interception, but he still had an interception. He just didn't play well at all. The Vikings didn't play well at all. And these are the games you're supposed to win if you're picked to go to the Super Bowl. If you're one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl, you're supposed to win these types of games. And they just got outplayed everywhere. Every aspect of the game, they got outplayed, and it was embarrassing.
It wasn't. You are supposed to win these games, but sometimes there's trap games and they happen, and that happens to everybody. But this wasn't that. This was an absolute mauling from the Bills, who is at the bottom of every single power ranking that I've seen, who has a rookie quarterback who nobody believes in, who it seems like his team's actually believing in him now. Josh Allen seems, not a lot of people seem to be talking about him. Everybody's about how the Vikings sort of, just messed this whole thing up. But Josh Allen looked like Josh Cam Newton now out there.
He played well. And also, Everson Griffin of the Minnesota Vikings.
That's a weird story.
Yeah, he's being evaluated for mental health.
Yeah, I guess he was in
a breakdown or something.
Yeah, he was in. I think he lives in a hotel, and he was threatened to shoot some people with a gun, and then laid down on the floor, and the police had to be called. He said he wouldn't leave. He ended up leaving, but I guess he went to the hospital and won't be back to the Vikings until he's medically cleared for mental health.
Yeah, that's definitely a weird, very, very strange situation.
It's one of those things. Concussions. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Got to get it together. All right, another exciting game. The Falcons and the Saints played one exciting game, which
take the over in any NFC South game. Take the over. Okay?
Yeah, Saints won this game 43-37. They were just defense optional was this one. Calvin Ridley, the rookie, had a breakout game, 3 touchdowns. Drew Brees had the slow motion spin.
What was that?
That had to be one of the slowest moves I've ever seen in my life.
It's like when you do a spin in Madden and then you have lag online and then it freezes for a second.
Yeah, that was very slow. But the NFC South, this looks like the most competitive division right now, even though defense is really optional in that division. The Panthers
have a pretty good defense.
The Panthers have a good defense. They're the only team in that division with a solid defense. But the Bucs, no defense. The Falcons, we know they have no defense. The Saints, they've never been They played well on defense last year, but this season their defense has been horrendous. So
it's fun to watch those games. It's like the Big 12.
Yeah, but they're not scoring in the 70s.
That's true. The NFL's version of the Big 12. How's that?
Yeah.
Does that suit you better?
Now, remember what I said about the Jaguars? Remember what I said about the Jaguars?
Yeah, you said that they would go to the Super Bowl and that they would beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Of course.
And that Blake Bortles would win the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, we have that on tape.
This is a time that you're not yet there to win a Super Bowl. So you just come off a big win over the Patriots. Now you got a division game. You would think they would be up and ready for this one. But nope, that was not the case. This game was ugly to watch. 9-6 was the final score. No offense. Blake Bortles was Blake Bortles, the bad Blake Bortles. And the Titans they're just a team that I look at. They're just a team. I'm like, I don't really think much of them. And they went in there and they made life hard for the Jaguars. And hey, that was a terrible game to watch.
You say that, but they got wins. They got a win against the best team in the AFC. What are they now? They're 2-1. They're 2-1.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year. I think that they're a solid up and coming team. They got a new coach, Mike Vrabel. They looked good. Mariota's in there, and you can get Corey Davis to become the star that he is. You get Dion Lewis looking good. I don't know. I think that they can make some noise.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't know. They're just one of those teams where you just look at, all right, they're probably going to play hard, but
Yeah. I mean, well, who do you like in that division then?
Unfortunately, the Jaguars
Still
by
go
default.
with the Jaguars,
yeah. We'll talk about the Texans right now because Bill O'Brien got to go.
That was the guy I knew you were going to talk about.
He got to go. He's got all this talent, and you're 0-3. There's no reason.
Well, Deshaun Watson has not been living up to the Deshaun Watson of last year. That's for sure.
Hey, he's coming off an injury as well. But Bill O'Brien, he's got to go at some point in the season because if they don't make the playoffs, or if they don't even finish the season, if they don't finish the season 500 or anything, he's got to go because this is. I don't know how long he's been there, but every single year that he's been there, they've been a disappointment. They've had a lot of talent. He's had a lot of talent.
I think he's got him to the playoffs once.
Which
is much better than Wade Phillips did.
Yeah, he got him to the playoff once, and I think he called he called a running play for J.J. Watt at one point in that playoff game.
Remember that.
So Bill O'Brien, he's got to go. I don't think much of him. The Giants got a much needed win. They needed that win, but that's just another team. I don't think is a very good football team. But this was
Saquon Barkley really started to come on this week.
Yeah, he's looking real good.
I think he might finish as probably one of the top, if not the top running back this year. He looked really good, and Odell looked good too. Peyton Manning.
Eli looked.
Jesus, God, I'll never do that again. Eli Manning. He looked good for Eli. He didn't throw like 5 or 6 interceptions. No. So yeah, I think that's a competitive division as well out there. But I don't know if I agree with you on Bill O'Brien. I don't think J.J. Watt has the talent anymore.
I just don't think he's a good coach.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If you got Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson, those guys can play backyard football without a coach and score.
Well,
they should be able to score multiple touchdowns, but I don't know. I don't think it's all on the coach in this situation. I think it's the players aren't showing
Speaking of another coach who I think shouldn't be a coach, Jason Garrett of the Cowboys.
He shouldn't have been a coach years ago. They should have got rid of him.
The Cowboys, I don't know why he's still a coach. The Cowboys didn't look good against Seattle. Their defense looked well at points in this game, but once again, their offense, besides Ezekiel Elliott, their offense looked terrible. Dak Prescott can't throw. Another game where he hasn't thrown 200 yards.
They remind me of the Patriots a little bit.
This is another
wide
team.
Receivers.
Another team that had all the hype coming into this season. People talk about they might make a run, but this is just they're not a good football team. They're not good offensively. They're not good. If you get a lead on the Cowboys, they can't come back. You get a 2-touchdown lead on the Cowboys, they're not a team that's built to come back. The Cowboys are a team that's built. If they get a lead, they're going to give the ball to Ezekiel Elliott and kill that clock. But if you get up on them, there's no threat. There's no offense. There's no wide receiver threat. Tavon Austin, I don't know why people thought he was going to be a difference maker this year.
He hasn't been in
He's been a disappointment since he's been drafted. But the Cowboys look terrible. The Seahawks look good. They haven't been home, so it's their first home game, so they actually look good this week. But the Cowboys.
Yeah, I still believe in Russell Wilson. The Cowboys look good. Chris Carson, they kept feeding this guy the ball. But how many times they're giving him? He looked pretty good. So, yeah, looks good all around. DraftKings. Let's jump to that. Why don't you go first? Since you won, you actually won last week. You did.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Have I won?
Yeah,
that's 2 weeks in a row.
You didn't win by many. We both did much better this week, I think, than last week.
I've got 2 wins in the past 2 weeks. That
looks great.
That looks terrible. So I'll just read it off my lineup. Quarterback, I'm going once again with Patrick Mahomes. Running backs, Giovanni Bernard. Matt Breida from the San Francisco 49ers, Jordy Nelson, Kenny Stills.
Riding the hot hand. We should have talked about Nelson.
Yeah, we should have, but they're the Raiders. They stink. Kenny Stills, Sammy Watkins.
Come on, you can't start a Dolphin against the Patriots.
Yes, I can. And Vance McDonald. Did you see that stiff arm Vance
I did.
McDonald?
That was pretty BA.
That cornerback is injured now. Why do I have Le'Veon Bell on here?
Oh, that's genius. Do you know how to play this game? You know that if the player is not playing for a team, that he cannot participate.
Whatever, I don't care.
You might have to sit this week out, Mukala. I know you've been rushing.
I can still make a change, though, can't I?
We'll let you make a change. We'll let you
Don't
make
worry,
a change.
I'll leave it there. I'll still win.
No. We'll let you make the change. I want some real competition. Do it right now while I go over my thing. So I'm going to go with Phillip Rivers. Again, I'm sticking with my home quarterbacks. I'm going to stack him with Keenan Allen. Mine looks a little bit better. I think that they're going to have their way with San Francisco. I think that they're going to put up a lot of points. They do anyway. Chris Carson, I just mentioned him. He's getting a lot of touches. He's not averaging a lot of yards per carry, but he is getting a lot of touches. Zeke Elliott, like we both just said, he's pretty much the focal point of the offense. He's really all that they got. And Calvin Ridley, ride the hot hand, 3 touchdowns. Sterling Shepard, he's been playing well, and we just said against the defensive optional New Orleans Saints team. I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to play that well 2 weeks in a row, so I'm going to go with Jimmy Graham. And then Tyler Boyd, he's come on a lot. He's got a lot of targets. He's definitely the number 2 option after A.J. Green. And then I'm going to start the Chargers at defense because C.J. Beathard is probably going to be the worst starting quarterback this week, I think.
And now we're going to get it to Craig, the Cleveland Brown lover, and he'll give us his fantasy update. I really picked Le'Veon Bell.
What did you pick with Le'Veon? What were you doing? David, run Craig's clip.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to No Huddle here on After the Whistle. And my name is Craig. And if you haven't watched yet, my show's called The Flex, and it's on Wednesday nights at 9. It's also on my Facebook, and you can look me up on Instagram at _Craig.awesome. But today I'm here to give you my DraftKings picks of the week. Starting off at quarterback, I had to spend. I went with Patrick Mahomes, baby, because that boy good. He has not let down yet, and I don't believe he's gonna. That kid is on fire, and he's playing for fun. He reminds me of a young Cam Newton, just out there having a good time, tossing the pigskin, run up to the red car, take a left, because that's Patrick Mahomes right there, just playing real football, loving the game, and scoring points. He just broke the record. 13 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks, beating out Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. That kid is just amazing. I actually didn't have that much faith in him when the season began, but now, I wish I had him. Upset that I didn't pick him. For my running back, because I spent so much on Carlos Hyde, I kind of went low on running backs. Start off with Carlos Hyde. He put up 25 points last week. They're going up against the Raiders. I look for Carlos Hyde to get those 2 goal line touchdowns once more. He's going to be definitely in double digits, so I like Carlos Hyde. Another person who I picked, which is definitely an off pick for me. Most people would not expect me to say this, but I'm going with Kenyon Drake. I don't like the Miami Dolphins, and I don't like Kenyon Drake, but they're playing the Patriots, and the Patriots have not been playing very well on defense. And even though I don't expect the Dolphins to win this game, I do expect the run game to be really well. I expect the run game to do really well because that's the one place that we fail every time is at the run game. So look for Kenyon Drake to break double digits and possibly even get a touchdown. Then I had to break the bank again with my boy Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster is the man. When his 3-year rookie deal is up, you better believe he's going to a team as a number 1 wideout because he is just nasty. The Steelers ain't going to be able to afford to keep him. He's going to get way too many offers. Juju Smith is the man, and he should be in your DraftKings lineup every week. I'm going to follow that up with my homeboy, Jarvis Landry. I just like Jarvis Landry. He's one of the most complete wide receivers in the NFL, if not the most complete wide receiver in the NFL, and he's a playmaker. And I think he's going to make plays with Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield and Landry are going to be bosom buddies. They're going to put up numbers all year long. I like these two together. So I'm definitely going with Jarvis Landry to put up good numbers. And then I'm going to follow that up with my next favorite wide receiver, Will Fuller. The man is putting up points. He's putting up points. He's doing better than DeAndre Hopkins right now. He's the deep threat. He's the touchdown threat. He's the red zone threat. He's just a threat. He's so fast. I love Will Fuller, and I expect him to put up double digits this week. They're going up against Indy. Indy don't have nothing. So put in Will Fuller. I'm going to follow this up. For tight ends, I'm going with Eric Ebron. Once again, I had to save a little bit of money, but Eric Ebron's a double-digit beast, and I think this is the week that they're going to do really well, and I think they're going to hit him in the red zone. They're going up against Houston, and Houston hasn't been doing very well. They're not terrible, but they're not doing well enough. So I look for Eric Ebron as my tight end, and I think it's gonna pay out. For my flex, I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk here. And I'm going to go with Chris Ivory. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Chris Ivory has always been a good running back. LaShawn McCoy is probably going to be out. Chris Ivory is going to be taking all the touches. And against Green Bay, who isn't necessarily the greatest at stopping the run, but guess what? Muhammad Wilkerson is out. The run game is going to be open for him. Chris Ivory is going to take the ball up the middle. He's going to get probably within 60 to 75 yards and at least a touchdown. So I like him in the flex position. And I'm going to follow it up with another surprise pick, something no one saw coming. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns, baby. They're going to shut the Raiders down. They're going to be getting at Derek Carr all day. They're going to be putting Derek Carr on his back. They're going to be getting interceptions. Cleveland Browns has one of the highest takeaways in the league right now as a defense, if not still the highest. So look for the Cleveland Browns to dominate defensively. And because their offense is going to be doing so well, it's going to make the Raiders scared. They're going to be taking too many risks, and Cleveland's going to capitalize on that. So those are my picks for DraftKings. Patrick Mahomes, Carlos Hyde, Kenyon Drake, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jarvis Landry, Will Fuller, Eric Ebron, Chris Ivory, and the Browns defense. That's my picks for DraftKings. My name's Craig. This is No Huddle on After the Whistle. And make sure you check out my show, The Flex, Wednesday nights at 9 or on my Facebook, Craig Campbell. Check me out. Have a good night.
Well, thank you for that, Craig. Reporting from the blimp once again. It appeared to crash at the end.
Yeah.
It hit the ground. I hope Craig is all right. We do have insurance. I don't know if it covers blimps.
Nope.
I don't know. I don't even know how he gets up there and gets the camera. Anyway, thanks, Craig. You haven't won yet. I don't think you will, but he does know what he's talking about. Check out the flex. All right, so we're going to go to boxing now. Anthony Joshua beat Povetkin. Did you see it in the fight?
No, I didn't see the fight.
Did you at least see the highlight, the knockout?
No, Pedro was telling me about it.
It was a pretty in
the seventh
brutal
round.
knockout. Yeah, it was the seventh round, and Povetkin was a good fighter. He had some good rounds. He tested Joshua. Probably Joshua's best opponent, and he's a top heavyweight, but Joshua was able to nail him with a left hook, I believe it was, and then a straight right. It was bad. Yeah, you can watch it online. And Anthony Joshua is just a beast. Looking at him, I think he's like 6'6", almost 260, 270 area. Could easily be a defensive end in the NFL, but he's knocking dudes out.
Are we going to see Joshua versus Wilder anytime soon? Because Wilder has a fight.
Wilder has a fight with Tyson Fury, who Tyson Fury was the first one to beat Klitschko in like over a decade. So Tyson Fury is no joke. And Deontay Wilder, that's going to be a great fight. Joshua and Wilder, they're trying to schedule that for April, but so far Wilder, they can't come to an agreement. So it's all about money in boxing, but
make the fight.
Make the fight.
Gracious.
It's Joshua doesn't want to leave London, and Wilder doesn't want to travel over there. It's so much.
All right,
politics.
then fight in the ocean or something. Fight in the Atlantic Ocean.
You know what? That's not bad.
Meet them halfway.
Yeah, international waters. That's right. Then there's no country advantage there. All right, let's jump to NBA and Jimmy Butler. Why don't you tell us about
Jimmy
that?
Butler last week requested a trade from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Right now, they're saying his top destination is the Miami Heat. Apparently, Jimmy Butler had wasn't getting along with Anthony Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns. They were kind of butting heads. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw the drama last week that happened after he requested his trade. Andrew Wiggins' brother posted "Hallelujah," something like that.
I did miss that.
And then Steven Jackson, the former NBA player, he went on Instagram and did an Instagram video saying Andrew Wiggins plays with no heart and Jimmy Butler plays with heart. One thing I will say about this, Steven Jackson, he's on TV a lot now since he retired from the NBA, and anytime I see him on TV, he comes off as that old man, the cranky old man. Yeah, he says that about a lot of young players that they play with no heart. He says that a lot, so he comes off as a hater, in my opinion, at some point. And people have been very critical of Andrew Wiggins, but let me be the one to defend Andrew Wiggins. Maybe Jimmy Butler kind of hindered his game, because Andrew Wiggins, before Jimmy Butler got there, was averaging 23 points per game.
Right, his point per game average.
His production dropped. He went from 23 points per game to 17 points per game. Now, what was the common denominator? Jimmy Butler. I mean, Jimmy Butler is a great player, but adding an all-star like that, and Jimmy Butler needs the ball in his hands a lot, so that kind of made Andrew Wiggins step the game back a little bit. So there have been a lot of people critical of Andrew Wiggins because he was the #1 overall pick, and some people thought to label him as the next LeBron, which was ridiculous. But he's not that. But he's
still young. He's only 23.
He's young. I think he's got a lot more upside. And the whole thing with Steven Jackson, they were going back and forth and stuff like that. I mean, Steven Jackson, two things he's known for. The malice in the palace. I don't know if you remember that. The fight. That's mainly what he's remembered for, and also getting cut by the Spurs a few years ago because he thought he was better than Ginobili at that point.
Why don't you give him an official call out to come on the show for a debate? Give him an official. Steven Jackson,
Mukala
is not a fan.
Come holler at us.
And he wants you to holler at him.
Yeah, Steven Jackson, come holler at us. Let's talk. Let's talk basketball.
See if we can work this out.
No fisticuffs, though. I can't fight.
No, let's not do that. See, if it's 2-on-1, I usually take the two people side. See that it's Towns and Wiggins that are battling with Butler, and Butler doesn't like either of them, I'm more likely to go with, hey, maybe it's Butler's the problem and not these two guys. And they are a little younger. Yeah. And he's a little older. Maybe they have, there's that almost generational gap, but they're the two guys you want to build around anyway. You want to build around Towns, which looks like they're doing with the 5-year, $190 million Supermax, and Wiggins. Those are guys you want to build around.
They got their two young players tied up for a while. They gave Wiggins an extension last year, a big contract now to give Towns. So they just need to build around them. I mean, Jimmy Butler, he needs to go to a team where he can contend for a championship because
that's not Miami, though.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, he's going to be a free agent next year, so we'll see.
Well, but the reports are that Miami is one of the teams that he would actually re-sign with, too. Right. Even after saying, they pulled up an old interview saying that he'd never wear a Heat jersey. Yeah. This was when he was with the Bulls. Yeah. But what assets did the Heat have to give the Timberwolves?
I have no idea.
They don't really have many assets. I think it would be picks based.
Yeah. Well. The year the Celtics started training camp, preseason starts. I just wanted to say that 2018, 2019, I'm calling it the year of the Celtics. Okay. It is the year of the Celtics. I just want to let everybody know. The Celtics are getting that championship. Yeah. Everybody's healthy, no injuries. The year of the Celtics.
The Chinese New Year's calendar actually has that too. They predicted it way back in the time this would be the year of the Celtics.
There you go.
You're not alone in that one.
So as we scroll down, we're just going to skip the Red Sox. The Red Sox are the AL East champions.
Wait, that's it for the Celtics? It says Celtics preview. That was a preview.
We got time.
Oh, yeah, we're running out.
Celtics, we'll talk more Celtics next week. NBA season starts soon, so we'll have our Celtics preview more in depth. Red Sox, they're AL East champions. Playoffs start soon.
We knew that 2 months ago.
We knew that. Now into college football. Urban Meyer comes back. I don't have much to say about that. I don't think you should have a job.
Well, they have a big. What we could say about that is they have a huge game this week against Penn State.
And we're about to get into our college football. First, let's talk about the big upset last week: Virginia Tech, Old Dominion.
The biggest upset probably in college sports since what happened in March Madness.
Or the Appalachian State against Michigan.
Yeah, that one too. But I think this is probably more of an upset, seeing how Old Dominion was a 28-point underdog going into this game, and they ended up beating Virginia Tech 49-35.
28 points in the fourth quarter, Old Dominion scored. 28. That's, Virginia Tech's usually known for defense, but yeah, terrible.
And Old Dominion was winless before this, and Virginia Tech was ranked 13th. I can't explain this. I didn't watch the game. I've never even heard of Old Dominion before. I don't know
it's somewhere
what it
in Virginia. That's all I know.
I assume it's a college.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Virginia.
So how does an upset like this happen? I have no idea. There's not much analysis I think you can really give except for on any given Saturday or any given Sunday.
Anybody could lose. We got some Week 5 previews. I'm gonna say some games. You're gonna pick them. You ready?
Yeah.
West Virginia, Texas Tech.
West Virginia.
I got Texas Tech. Tennessee, Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. Oklahoma, Baylor.
Oklahoma.
Texas, Kansas State.
Texas. They had a nice win last week.
Yeah, Texas. I'm going to Texas as well. Ohio State, Penn State.
I got to go Ohio State.
It's at Beaver Stadium. I'm going with Penn State.
Ooh, okay.
Stanford, Notre Dame.
This is the game to watch. I love Bryce Love. I'm going to go Stanford. I think Stanford really has a shot at making a run at the playoffs this year.
I agree with you with that. I'm going with Stanford. And now we go to Athletes Corner. Dun, dun, dun. We had Lynn English Soccer here. Melissa Zayas scored 5 goals in the game last week.
Well, she's going to tell us.
Woo! Athletes Corner, and then we're going to do our little wrap-up. Welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got a first. Usually I'm on this side by myself, but we got Lynn English High Soccer here. We got special guests everywhere, record setters. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with her.
Hi, I'm Arianna Garcia. I'm Melissa Zayas.
And I'm Ed McNeil, the girls soccer coach at Lynn English.
And what everybody all got in common here, I'm a Lynn English alum. I was there when Coach first began, so it's like a homecoming for me, kind of, sort of. First, we're gonna talk with Melissa, the record setter. 5 goals in a game last week against East Boston. That's quite the game to have. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I wasn't expecting that either, but because I have such a great team, they helped me to become the player I am, and I'm just grateful for where I am right now. I'm thankful for my coach, and yeah.
Coach, 16 years. You've been on the helm. You seen something like that before?
No, I've had 3 goal scorers prior to Melissa. I had her sister Alexa, who played last year, was my leading scorer. Brianna Marino, terrific scorer, played, and all of these girls went on to play in college, which I'm sure Melissa is going to do, and Megan 40. But for pure goal scoring, Melissa is by far the best person. Her shot is accurate, it's hard, and she gets it on net, and that's the big thing. Yeah. A lot of kids can shoot hard, and in that particular game, she had scored 4 goals, and I took her out, and I said, don't go for that 5th goal. We've already won. And she wasn't going to. And the goalie made a save on another shooter, and the ball was right in front of an empty net, and she had to put it in. So I didn't blame her for that. But it was nice to get 5 goals.
Fate intervened.
Well, her sister scored 3 goals against them last year.
Okay.
And the coach came up to me before the game, and he said, is that girl graduated? And I said, yes. And then he said, who's this girl? I said, that's her sister. So it worked out really good.
You got 11 goals in 6 games.
Yes.
Now, what kind of zone do you have to be in just to keep, it's not easy to score in soccer. And you're just out there scoring like it's nothing.
It's actually 13 goals in 8 games now.
No, 13 in 8 games.
Well, I've been playing my whole life, ever since I was 5. And so I just I just don't let anything get to me before a game. It's just me, you know. Like I don't let just stuff from outside that doesn't include soccer get to me. Like it's just me. Like I'm focused on what I need to do, and that's just what helps me out.
For you, Arianna, as a teammate, seeing that, what does that do for you? If you can't see right now, she's a little sidelined right now. She can't be on the field. She got a cast going on down here. We won't ask what happened, but she's a little sidelined right now. So she's an observer right now. So she's gonna talk from an observing point of view. I can't even talk.
So having Melissa as our forward is like really convenient because like she also comes back, helps the defense, and she passes all the time. So other people can make the assist of making the goal because she doesn't like ball hogging the ball and just making it all in by herself because she likes to pass and make other people make the goal in too.
I'll say this. I'm very fortunate. I'm very glad that you came today, Arianna, because I've never had a forward and a defender as a freshman so ready to play varsity soccer. Arianna is a tremendous defender. And unfortunately, she's injured now, but she hopefully will be back by our game Friday against Everett.
Okay.
And we missed her yesterday. We had a game yesterday that didn't go well for the Bulldogs, but that happens.
Yeah, talk about just having these two freshmen. You know,
Well, we
you
have
got
5
something to build
freshmen
on.
that play regularly. Last year's team graduated 10 seniors, 9 starters. So we're actually a very, very young team. We only have 2 seniors in the starting lineup where we had 9 last year. And I had heard all along, I said, you've got a forward coming in, never having seen Melissa play, and a defender, Arianna, never having seen her play. And fortunately, my eyes went, whoa, this is really good stuff. I mean, to have 2 girls, and yesterday we had 4 freshmen play regularly, and Arianna wasn't in the lineup. As I said, we're very young. The future looks very, very good. We're going to take our lumps this year. We're a young team. But we've won 3 out of 8 games, and we have some winnable games coming up. And these 2, you cannot beat them as freshmen, in my opinion.
Definitely, ladies, just talk about the season so far, the season you guys are having so far. You know, what are some things that you guys looked at to work on before the season started and how it translated?
Well, I feel like what I feel like we should work on so far, like from what I've seen, is like communication. That's what we need to work on. You know, like passing the ball a little bit quicker. You know, just that kind of stuff, like in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Melissa. Like, we're really fast. We go to the ball, but we just need to have communication because we usually just bump into each other.
And how is it being on the varsity level your first year? Was it overwhelming, or were you guys just? Or was the first game overwhelming, and then once it started rolling, you guys were
because
calm?
of being a freshman, I didn't know like a lot of the girls, so I felt overwhelmed. But after, like, this team is so welcoming, and that's what I love about it. So they made me feel so welcome that I was just like, I was just so, you know, I just didn't feel weird about it.
Very, very.
Yeah.
They bring people in, and they weren't intimidated by the fact, the upperclassmen, that these 2 girls were so good. Sometimes you can get that dynamic if a junior or senior says, "Oh, these kids are going to take my job," which they have. They are in the starting lineup. They come off the field only when they're injured.
Okay.
That's basically it. They're going to play tons of minutes this year. But the team, they welcomed them right in. And I think you both adapted to varsity soccer so quickly. The big thing with youth soccer is 14-year-olds play against 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
These 2 are playing against 17 and 18-year-olds because a lot of teams have senior leadership.
Yeah.
And you'd never know they were freshmen.
Well,
it's really, really, it's inspiring. It really is.
Well, no place to go but up as everything continues. But, you know, Time is up. See how fast that went?
That went great.
That went fast. But thank you guys for coming.
thank you.
You know, continue the hard work. Get those W's. You know, come back here. Come back here anytime. Anybody from Lynn English
That's it.
they get special treatment from me. All right.
That's
So,
Okay.
all right, you guys been watching Athletes Corner. We're signing off. Tossing it back to Brian.
All right, and thank you for that one, Mukala. You actually looked really short in that chair. I don't know if anybody else noticed. I think you got to push it
Yeah, I
up a little bit
didn't
next
boost it up,
time. It's
yeah.
kind of embarrassing. You look kind of short. But let's jump into the predictions. Real
Okay.
quick, we got to run through them. We can't even give an analysis. All right, so I got the games right here. Vikings versus Rams.
It is in LA Rams.
I'm going to go Rams as well. Texans, Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texans. I think they're going to get their
I don't
first
tru-
win
I
of the
told you I
season.
don't trust
Bills, Packers.
Packers hesitantly.
Packers. Buccaneers, Bears.
Bears.
I'm going with the Bucks. Dolphins, Patriots. Don't you dare. Don't you dare think about this.
All right, I'm gonna go Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to go Patriots too. Lions versus Cowboys. This is a gutter game.
I'm just not cheering for I'm gonna go with the Lions just because I don't want to pick the Cowboys.
I'm going to go with the Lions too. Bengals versus Falcons.
Falcons.
Falcons. Jets versus Jaguars.
Jets.
Jets?
Jets.
Really? No, I'm going with the
Upset
Jags.
alert.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Eagles versus Titans. Bet that money that line if you believe it then. Eagles versus Titans.
Where's this game at?
It's in Tennessee.
Titans.
Really? I'm going to go with the Eagles. Browns versus Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders. I like that. Seahawks versus Cardinals.
Cardinals. They got to get one.
The Hawks. No way. I think Josh Rosen's going to start. Saints versus Giants.
Saints.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go with the Giants here. Saints don't have a defense. 49ers versus Chargers.
The Chargers.
Yeah, CJ Beathard. That's all you got to say. Chargers. Ravens versus Steelers.
Ravens.
I'm going with the Steelers. And then Chiefs versus Broncos.
Patrick Mahomes.
It's in Denver. I think that Denver is going to hurt. Hand
believe
Patrick
in
Mahomes' his
Pat-
first loss of the season, unfortunately.
Patrick Mahomes, don't let me
That's
down.
my upset
Throw
alert.
them touchdowns. That just rhymed.
That is good.
Hey,
why don't you take
look
us
at
out?
that.
You should
All
do that
right,
every
guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you, everybody that came out to our ice cream and video game social the other day. All the parents who brought their children, thank y'all for coming. And yeah, we're signing off here. Go to linntv.org or Facebook, Lynn Community Television. Check us out. We're here. Tomorrow's Brian's birthday, Thursday, the 27th.
Hey,
is
don't
Brian's
tell
birthday.
people that. Oh, now I'm going to get so many letters from all the fans. Hope that was muted. Okay.